Hi, my name is Mick. I'm the founder of Dart Valley Fungi. We grow exotic organic mushrooms. We grow a combination of shiitake, king oyster, lion's mane, maitake. A lot of these mushrooms are culinary, but they also have medicinal properties as well, which was originally what interested me. The idea to start the farm came after studying Chinese medicine in China, and within that we learned a lot about classical herbs and medicines, and that's where I came to know about medicinal mushrooms. I didn't realize that there would be such a demand on culinary mushrooms, and now we deliver nationally all over the UK. We work with wholesalers from up in London as far as Manchester, as well as Riverford, which is just over the hill here, and they distribute our mushrooms across the UK. I built the farm in a low-tech way, and realized that it was quite a technical process growing mushrooms, and the demand that I was seeing in mushrooms required more tech processes rather than low-tech. So this farm became specialized in what you would consider high-tech mushrooms, because it requires quite a lot of processes in order to get the mushroom from raw material into a fruiting body. This farm's quite unique as far as growing mushrooms anywhere in the world. Due to the fact we produce our substrate, it's quite common that you will choose your path. You'll either be fruiting mushrooms or developing substrate. So we do the whole process from start to end. We develop the substrate, incubate it, and fruit the mushrooms here. So from creating the substrate, we need to get the right composition of materials, the right hydration amount. Then we need to sterilize it sufficiently so that within the bag, the substrate is completely sterile. And once it's sterile and cooled, we move it into our laboratory where spores are introduced to we call it a substrate block. Spawn is introduced in there, the bag is sealed, and it's moved into incubation where the mycelium will colonize the block, and that's a big process of developing substrate. Under this roof we can grow 1,000 kilos of mushrooms a week. Here's where we mix our composite of materials. We work in a team of 3, optimally 4, and we've found more people to work with. It's a faster process, and here we generate our substrate. These are our sterilizers. They're not pretty, but they work really well. It's where the substrate is sterilized through high amount of steam. This is a part of the first stage of the grant, which was automating this system. What we have achieved is a robust system that can withstand high amounts of pressure. Here is our lab space where we inoculate the substrate with mushroom spores. Our incubation space, but here the temperatures are completely different to what we have in our fruiting room. It's warm, it's heavy amounts of CO2 in here. This is a colonized block would look. And this is something we inoculated today, which is yet to show any sort of signs of primordial formation of colonization. This is one of our grow rooms. As you can see here, this is the tech that was developed. We are monitoring the temperature, the air pressure, the humidity, and the amount of CO2. In this space we grow grey oysters, shiitakes, lion's mane. The airflow system is designed in a way that it distributes evenly throughout the room. People love this mushroom. It's just the way it looks. It's very special. It's considered the lobster of the mushroom, or the crab, because it has a similar sweet taste to a crab meat. All the mushrooms have different characteristics and flavors. I've put a couple of proposals together for funding for our substrate production here. An exciting proposition to make a proposal because it had so many applications on this farm that we could really utilize the grant. I can tell you for 2 years I spent most evenings up here. Because we're working with high steam, it was very difficult to get off-the-shelf products to shut off steam and open air systems without melting our filters, melting valves and so forth. So we were able to work with a technician to develop a system that had robust shut-off valves that was automated based on certain recipes, certain strains that we work with. The second application was to control our environments so that we had stable conditions for the mushrooms to grow. Some strains are more particular about and more sensitive to fluctuations of humidity, temperature. I can tell you already the automation of the sterilizer has certainly improved our productivity on the farm. Yeah, we were able to ensure like higher yields.
I'm Stuart McVeigh and I'm the technical expert on Mick Eaton's project for his mushroom grow room. What I've created here is a variable drive for a humidifier unit which is pre-installed, and it goes in line with the supply for the humidifier unit and allows us to control and keep at a static level the humidity inside the grow room. Some of the mushrooms are very sensitive to humidity levels and they have to be kept fairly steady. Maybe a % here or there is not a problem, but you can't have it swinging by several % like it was. So the crop is improved by making the conditions more what they expect, if you like. What the unit that I've created here allows us to do is fine adjust the humidifier. It's a variable drive which allows us, so instead of it being fully on or fully off, it's actually giving us a fine control over how much humidity is produced by the humidifier. This thing is connected to the internet and allows not only the monitoring of the data but the control of the parameters inside the unit, all from the app on the phone or on the computer. It does give him the ability to monitor and even adjust things without being present in person. The fact that the humidity is being controlled to probably a higher precision than we would ever be able to do manually, it enables a much more higher quality yield from the mushrooms. And of course you're not limited to certain times of the year when the mushrooms are being grown, because you can replicate the conditions they need at any time of the year. With the ability to have machines running the humidity in all of these grow rooms gives Michael the ability to expand his business. Well, it's pretty early to tell as far as like the environment control system, but we can see already that it's stabilized the environment. Awesome. As far as the sterilization, it's just made like the productivity, the stress levels, it's like they're like things you can't really quantify, but they will prove themselves in just like as far over time. In January we've taken on clients for substrate production, so we'll be supplying other farms in the UK substrate. So what that does in essence is localizes the industry, because there are no substrate producers in the UK. Most substrates come from China, the Netherlands, some Germany, but there is no commercial substrate producers in the UK. We're starting to work with some larger scale farms in January, and we are setting up a new site to incubate, to support like a larger capacity. So we're going to use this tech and apply it down to our second site. Our substrate sawdust comes from a yurt maker down the road. Next door to him is a flour maker. So that like the two of the biggest ingredients we work with is bran and sawdust. And that comes from 5 minutes away from here. They've also expressed interest where they would like us to install this Agri-Tech to help with the pasta drying in his system. So that what we've developed here is applicable to other industries. The scheme was really well supported by Jake and his team, and I had a lot of direct contact with some of his team who were really helpful in sort of like formulating the language to put my proposal forward.